Hi, welcome to week 3. I'm going to do a quick overview of what you can expect in this week's module. And again, I'm going to have this uploaded so you can download the PowerPoint if you'd like to have a copy. So let me let everyone know that I really enjoyed the beginning of the discussion for week 2. Thanks to all of you for really taking the charge to BMG, Be More Generous. I don't know if everyone saw that announcement that I posted in earlier in the week, but I really appreciate the time you took to be thoughtful and thorough in your initial posts and again for sharing your personal context. I hope that was a helpful way to engage with the conversation or the discussion prompt. If you have not yet done a response to one of your classmates, please do that by tonight, Monday the 10th, just right before midnight. So take care of that. Our group presentation assignments have been finalized. We lost 2 students, so we are now 9, and the groups are going to be 3 pairs and 1 group of 3. So I've dropped week 6. We're back to the original presentation dates, which is a week 4, week 5, week 7, and week 8. So the syllabus has been updated to reflect the change going back to what we were doing originally. Another thing from week 2, I sent everyone an email just checking in on where you are with your research paper. If you haven't responded to that email, please do that this week so I know that you're on track. And if you're feeling like you're not on track, that's an especially good reason to respond to my email. And then the other thing that you should take note of is that I'm changing office hours from standing on Wednesday from 7 to 8 to by appointment. So I guess my time that was my best availability doesn't work for everyone. So please reach out and we'll schedule something by appointment if you need to connect with me. The learning objectives for this module are really all focused on andragogy, which is the topic of the chapter for this week's reading. And so that's just where our focus is about being able to describe the evolution of andragogy, using visual representation to explain the assumptions of adult learners, using critical assessment of your own good and bad learning experiences to influence your design decisions, and then discussing how andragogy influences instructional design. The reading this week, again, is our Chapter 3, Andragogy, the Art and Science of Helping Adults Learn. I have included another graphic organizer for you. And then I've got a set of reflection questions and just one focus question that will be the prompt for this week's discussion board when you upload your andragogy infographic. The reflection questions are just that. They're not part of any graded assignment. They're just prompts that I'm throwing out there that I hope will give you an opportunity to take pause and really think about how you turn this you make that transition from the theory to practice, you know, the way Mary and Barima, they wrap up the end of each chapter with a theory to practice. This is my take on giving you some ways to think about what you're consuming in terms of the content. So the first one is related to our learning objective, or one of the learning objectives. So thinking about your own personal experiences and how those can shape your decisions as an instructional designer, your experiences, good or bad, with as an adult learner. Next one is, how will Knowles's assumptions shape the design of your group chapter presentation? Again, I'm really hoping that the assignments throughout this course don't feel like busy work, and that you're able to see the connections between taking what you're learning in the theory side of the course and then being able to kind of almost immediately apply it to practice. So think about what your understanding is of these assumptions as you wrap up the chapter, and then think about how you apply that into your group chapter presentations. Kind of connected to that, which of the 6 assumptions do you think is most challenging to address as an instructional designer, and why? just kind of know that for yourself. And it might be something that you'll just have to, work on or reach out and see how other people are approaching that in their instructional design work. And then this last reflection is just this quote that stood out for me at the end of the chapter, and it may be relevant to some of you in terms of the work that you're doing. So if you're interested in starting a dialogue on this topic, go ahead and open up a thread, or ask me to open up a thread, additional discussion thread, and we can do that. So here's the quote. It says, "The adults from whom Knowles drew andragogical assumptions were overrepresented by privileged individuals who were primarily white, male, educated, and from middle class backgrounds." So my reflection question to you is, what influence does this criticism have on your thoughts about applying andragogical assumptions to the design of instruction for diverse populations? So if you're in a space where you are needing to think about diverse populations, and many of us are, I think, at some points in our career, current or future, you could even do something, it's kind of a retrospective reflection if you like. If you're interested in talking about this, let me know. But I think it's something important to consider, particularly if you're working with diverse populations. And then the focus question, which you'll see as a prompt when you go to the discussion board, is, after reading the chapter and completing your infographic, what does the chapter 3 title, Andragogy, the Art and Science of Helping Adults Learn, mean to you? What does that mean to you? The art and science of helping adults learn. Our assignments this week, there's just one graded assignment, so that's the infographic. I did create a rubric for this, and it's really just to guide your design. It's a discussion board post, so it's graded the same point value as the other discussion boards, but I did extend the due date by a day, so it's now due on Friday instead of Thursday, right before midnight. I really want you guys to spend a good amount of time on this, maybe even polish some skills from the experience you had with the 520 infographics. So take your time with it, really make it a solid piece of a solid artifact that you can include in your ID portfolio. And again, you're going to do a response by Monday the 17th. Group 1, keep working on your chapter presentation. You'll be uploading that in week 4. And then to everyone, finalize your research paper topic if you haven't already. And I've included additional resources. Again, I've got the graphic organizer. There's a link to just a small, maybe just under 5-minute lynda.com movie. That's an introduction to andragogy, and then some other resources on andragogy and also on infographics. So some of you might think, it's too much. Why is there so much? And some of you be like, oh, I'm so glad now I can just find everything, kind of one stop shopping. Yeah. Okay. So none of this is required. This is all just here as helpful aids if you find it helpful, and disregard if you don't. All right. Have a great week.